Welcome to Critchleys Live. Today, a fascinating story of how an Oxford-based small business is using smartphone technology in the cloud to significantly improve the way pharmaceutical companies, medical researchers, clinicians and patients with long-term conditions like melanoma and cystic fibrosis and others are understanding the impacts of the drugs they take and their experience of their conditions so that we can improve that in the long term. With me to tell us a little bit more about that is Dr. Mark Larkin from Vitaccess. Mark, welcome to Critchleys Live.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here.
So just for the viewers who are interested in this, tell us a little bit about this, because you've taken something fairly common now, a smartphone, and you've transformed it into this global data collection mechanism.
Yeah, that's right. So people will probably be familiar with clinical trials that are used by manufacturers, drug manufacturers, to get approval of their products. Those are often very carefully selected patient groups. So once a drug's been approved, however, they don't really tell you exactly how those treatments are going to work in the real world setting, when the patient group isn't carefully selected. So we're using smartphone technology, everyone has a smartphone now, to develop project-specific, disease-specific apps that ask patients how their treatments and the condition is impacting them in a real world setting.
So if I had melanoma, for example, then I could become part of this longer term study, right?
Yep.
Where I download the app, it asks me questions on a daily, weekly basis about how I'm feeling or what.
Exactly. So the app takes care of how frequently those questions will be asked. We use standardized instruments, questionnaires that are validated in the literature. So this is very scientifically rigorous. And those questions could be about the impact of melanoma on your daily life. About fatigue, about side effects, about have you been hospitalized, about your quality of life. Those data pass from your device. They're anonymized and we are very careful with GDPR considerations, for instance. And then they form part of a cloud-based database which is available for researchers to access in close to real time to understand about how these treatments and the disease is impacting people in the real world.
And that's a critical point, because you're creating a huge amount of very, very specific and useful data, but you're not just limiting access to that data to the pharma companies who've paid for it, you're making it available to others as well.
Yeah, exactly. So using digital tools gives us the opportunity to provide access to academics, for instance, free of charge. We've been talking to NICE, for instance, the MHRA, a regulatory body. We can give those non-commercial organisations free access. And we obviously tell the patients about this as well, and that's a real motivator for them, that they're participating in a scientific study, and these important academic and non-commercial institutions can access their data.
So whether you're just interested in finding a little bit more about how companies like Vitaccess are using smartphones to collect real-world evidence across a massive data sample, often globally spread, or whether perhaps you're a sufferer with a condition like melanoma or cystic fibrosis or others, then you can find out more about Vitaccess's really important work, Mark, at your website, which is www.vitaccess.com. Mark, thank you for joining us at Critchleys Live today, and thank you very much for watching.
Many thanks.